Hey gang, it's Maria here from goalietrainingpro.com, and I had a question about balance boards. So one of you actually made your own balance board with just some plywood and a piece of PVC pipe, and the question was asking, what should I do with it now that I've made it? So I just wanted to go over a couple different kinds of balance boards that I use in the gym. So one is just a round balance board. It has sort of a semi-rounded bottom, so it allows freedom of movement in all planes. It sits fairly close to the ground, so you can't get too out of balance. It's a nice basic board. I picked this up at like a department store, pretty cheap. Another one I have, I got it from, the company is called Fitter First in Canada. But the thing I like about this, I actually bought this for my mom and dad and repossessed it, but is it has different bases. So you can see this is a pretty low fulcrum. Ooh, that mother just gave me a humongous splinter. And yow! Look at that. Yeah. But it sits pretty close to the ground, so I use it a lot with some of my older clients because it just doesn't have too many degrees of freedom. It just goes side to side. It lets them feel a little more secure. But then I can switch it out, put a little bit of a higher platform in there. So again, more play, but only 2 degrees of freedom. And then it has some other smaller fulcrum that you can do, so it'll actually have different planes of motion. So a nice versatile board, but it does give you big splinters and take chunks out of your hand. This one is called the Extreme Balance Board. This is probably the best balance board I've found. I like it because it goes side to side, but it allows for a little bit of play front to back. It has sort of a rubber bushings in there, and you can even adjust it to make it a little softer front to back. So those are the 3 different boards that I typically use in the gym. And then we can also go into Indo boards and Bongo boards, which actually let you roll side to side. But let's just stick with the balance boards for today, and now I'm going to show you what you can do with them. So we'll use the Extreme Balance Board for these examples. So naturally the first thing is just trying to find your balance. So make sure you keep your head up. Looking at your feet really doesn't help. By the time you see what's going on, there isn't really time to correct it. Besides, when you're skating or playing net, you're not looking at your feet, so you want to be able to find that balance point. Always think of keeping your shoulders level and your hips level, your belt line level. You want to just be using your hips, knees, and ankles to correct. You don't want your arms to be a part of it. You don't want to train yourself to sort of use your whole upper body to help you stabilize what's going on with your feet and your legs. So that's one. Then we'll go to a little offset balance. So I'm just bringing one foot here, and I'll put one foot here. And this is going to make this leg work a lot harder. Your body has to sort of take into account that you're offset, it's not even pressure, and adjust to that as you go. From there, then we can work on some dynamic balance, again, with different foot positions, different width of stance. So finding your balance point, and then working on dynamic squatting. Now some players will want to wait until they're perfectly balanced before they start squatting, but I don't care about that. I'd rather them almost keep their squatting tempo and learn to dynamically stabilize through movement than sort of wait until they have it and then do a squat and then balance again. So trying to just link those squats as you dynamically balance. Then from there we go to a little trickster. We try to do a little hop, and I mean a really little hop, and then land it without tapping down. So fighting for that landing and trying to keep it as level as you can. Then we can do a hand tracing, which will really challenge your vestibular system. So finding your balance and then trying to trace your hand. And the key is you really have to look right at your hand. And that's exceptionally hard. If you want to see how hard that is, even try just balancing on one foot and tracing your hand by moving your head. because when you move your head, you're sending in more input that your body has to sort of calculate and react to. So there's another way to make it harder. Then we go to whole body stability. So here's where I might add in a strength exercise. So on the wood floor, this wants to spin me around too much. So it still wants to spin me. So I've put a blue mat underneath. Usually we'll do it on the black rubber floor. But I can do that pec fly. I can do my chest press. I could also do dumbbell shoulder press. So this is an exercise where, just for my strength, I can't do a lot of weight anyway. So, you know, the fact that I'm balancing doesn't really take away from my ability to do my shoulder press with the dumbbell. And finally, you can do a lot of push-up variations. So, you know, push-ups with your hand on the balance board, offset push-ups with your hands on the balance board, even push-ups with your feet on the balance board, keeping it nice and level. So those are a few ideas how you can integrate balance board training into your off-ice hockey training. I hope it gives you some food for thought, and I hope you enjoy it. Happy training. This is Maria from goalietrainingpro.com, where my mission is to help 10,000 goalies win more games with fewer injuries, even if you don't have the genetic gifts or the natural ability of your competitors. Happy training.